Hello everybody, it's Orlean here, and today we are looking at simple interest. And at the end of this video, you should be able to find simple interest, time, or the principal. So let's head straight into this video. So first of all, what is simple interest? Now when we talk about interest, we're talking about the extra money that you have to pay back when you borrow money, or an extra money that you gain after investing in something. That is interest, all about the extra money. So simple interest is a method used to calculate that extra money. The other method that you will use, that we will see being used, will be compound interest. And today's video, we're looking at simple interest. So simple interest is a method used to calculate interest on a loan investment over a period of time. So let's head straight into the formula. So the simple interest formula is an easy one to remember. It says simple interest is equal to PRT over 100, in which P is the principal is the amount of money that you borrow, R is the rate is in the percentage, and T, which is time is measured in years. So you just have to be careful when you are looking for T or when you are using T. T is measured in years. So they give you 6 months, you have to convert that to years. And it's all of that will be divided by 100. So when you are done using the formula, that will give you the simple interest. That will give you the extra money that you gain after making the investment, or the extra money that you have to pay back. To find the total amount that you have to pay back, it will be the simple interest plus the principal. And we know principal is the amount of money that you borrow or the amount of money that you invested. So to find the amount, it will be the principal plus the simple interest. So let's head into our first example. So this example says, John invested $500 at an interest rate of 6% per year for 3 years. So sometimes you may see per year or per annum, they both mean the same thing. So calculate the simple interest and the total amount he will have at the end of 3 years. So we want to find the simple interest. So we see simple interest is equal to PRT over 100. So the simple interest will be, so we see P, which is the principal, is the amount of money invested. So that is P. So it's 500 multiplied by the rate, which is the percentage, multiplied by 6, multiplied by the time, which is in years, 3 years. And all of this will be divided by 100. So simple interest will be, this 0 cancel to that 0, this 0 cancel to that 0. So 5 times 6 would give me 30, and 30 times 3 would give me 90. So this $90 is the extra money that he will gain after 3 years of his investment. So they also want us to find the total amount that he will have at the end of 3 years. So we know the total amount would be, so the amount would be the simple interest plus the principal. So the simple interest is $90 plus the principal, which is the $500. So the amount of money that he will have would be $590. After we finish calculating the simple interest, we just add that to the principal, and that will give you the amount. Now let's look at example 2. Example 2 says, Mary borrowed $400 at a simple interest rate of 5% per year. She paid $60 in interest. How many years did she borrow the money for? So now we are asked to find the amount of years that she borrowed the money for, which is time. So what we can do, we use the same simple interest formula. So we say simple interest is equal to PRT over 100. So let's put in what we know in the formula. So we know she paid $60 interest. So this $60 here, this is the interest. So this will be the simple interest. So where we have simple interest, we'll put 60 is equal to the principal, which is the amount of money that Mary borrowed, which is 400. So it's 400 multiplied by the rate, which is 5% per annum, or 5% per year. So the rate would be 5 multiplied by the time, the thing that we want to find. all divided by 100. So we have to solve for time. So we work this out and solve for time. So we do some cancelling out. This 0 cancels out with that 0. This 0 cancels out with that 0. 4 times 5 would give me 20, and 20 times t would give me 20t. So 60 is equal to 20t. So to solve for t, to find the amount of years, this 20 is multiplying. So when we take it over, it will divide. So it will just be 60 divided by 20 is equal to time. So the time would be equal to, this 0 cancels with that 0. 6 divided by 2 would be 3. So we can say, therefore, Mary borrowed the money for 3 years. We can say, therefore, Mary borrowed the money for 3 years. So it's just simply put down the same formula, put in the values that you know, you work with all you can work out, and then you end up with a simple equation to solve for the unknown, in this case, which was time. Let's look at another one. So this one says, Alex received $40 in interest after 4 years at a rate of 2.5% per year. What was the principal amount he invested? So in this case, we want to find principal. So let's put down the formula again. So the formula would be simple interest is equal to PRT over 100. So we know simple interest would be, let's put in everything that we know. So we saw that Alex received $40 in interest. So the simple interest here would be 40 is equal to the principal, we don't know that. So the principal multiplied by the rate, in this case, which is 2.5%. So 2.5% multiplied by the time, which is 4 years. So the time would be 4, and all of this would be divided by 100. So let's work out what is going on at the top. This will be 40 is equal to 2.5 times 4. That would give us 10. So 10 times P would give us 10P over 100. So before we take off, we can do some cancelling out. You see this 0 cancels with that 0. So we're now left with 1P over 10 is equal to 40. 1P is the same as P. So we see the 10 is dividing. When we take it over, it will multiply. So we'll have 40 multiplied by 10 is equal to 1P, which is the same as P. So you can say, therefore, P is equal to 400. So to answer the question, we can say, Alex invested $400. So Alex invested $400. Same thing that like what we did just now. Put in the values in the formula, work it out, and you end up with a simple equation. Let's look at the next example. This example says, Jane borrowed $600 and paid $72 interest over 3 years. Find the rate of interest per year. In this case, you want to find rate. So we use the same formula. Now many textbooks may give you different formula for rate, a different formula for time, a different formula for principal. No need to remember all that. All you need to do is remember one formula, SI equal PRT over 100. And you just put in the values normally, regardless of what you want to find, put in the values and then you solve. So for this here, we can say the formula is SI is equal to PRT over 100. So the simple interest here would be $72, because that is the interest. So 72 is equal to the principal, which is the amount of money borrowed, in this case 600, multiplied by the rate that we want to find, multiplied by the time, which is 3 years, all over 100. So we're asked to solve for R. So we can, this 0 cancel with that 0, this 0 cancel with that 0. And now we're left with 6 times 3 is 18. And 18 times r would give me 18r. So 72 is equal to 18r. So to solve for r, we see the 18 is multiplying the r. So when we take it over the equal sign, it will divide. So you'll have 72 divided by 18 is equal to r. So r will be equal to 4. So to answer the question, we can say, therefore, a rate of interest per year is 4%. And now let's look at the final example. The final example says, Peter invested $800 at a simple interest rate of 7% per year. He wants his investment to grow to 1,120. How many years will this take? So we see Peter invested $800 and he wants his investment to grow to this. And they want to know how many years it will take. So first things first, this money that it will grow to, the extra money between that and the 800, that will be the interest. So we can say the interest would be 1,120 subtract $800, and that would be the interest. And this will give us an interest of $320. So this is the interest. So you want to know how many years will it take to earn this interest. So once again, we use the same simple interest formula. So we say simple interest is equal to PRT over 100. So the simple interest in this case is 320. So 320 is equal to the principal, which is the money invested, 800 multiplied by the rate, which is 7%, multiplied by the time that we want to find, all over 100. So this 0 cancels with that 0. This 0 cancels with that 0. So 8 times 7 would give me 56. So we have 320 is equal to 56 multiplied by t would give me 56t. So to solve for t, we will say 320, so the 56 is multiplied and we take it over to divide. And 320 divided by 56 would give me approximately, so t is equal to approximately 5.7. So we can say it will take 5.7 years to grow to $1,120. So for this question, we first needed to find what was the interest, what was the extra money that we must gain to reach 1,120. So we do that by subtracting finding the difference between the 800 and the 1,120. That would give us $320. And that extra money is what we call the interest. So we use the same formula, SI equal PRT over 100. And we put in the interest, we put in the principal, and we put in the rate. And then we work it out and we find for time. And we saw that Peter will take approximately 5.7 years. The reason why I said approximately, because the figure is actually 5.7142. So we rounded off to 5.7 years. So with that, this has brought us to the end of this video of finding simple interest. So we saw that sometimes we may be asked to find simple interest, we may be asked to find time, we may be asked to find rate. So what we learned today, we use the same formula to find all of those things. But it's just that sometimes you may have to do a little solving of an equation. Now this is better instead of remembering a formula for rate, a formula for time, a formula for principal. Just use the same formula, put in all of the values that you know, work it out, and then you will end up with a very simple equation. And you solve that Very simple equation, and that will give you your answer. And remember to answer your question. So they ask you how many years, state the amount of years. So I trust that you now have a solid understanding of simple interest, and I'll see you in the next video.